Hello everyone and welcome back to Why the Hell Do We Care? Today we have a lot of wonder types to take a look at, so let's get started with our Soul Dynasty Warrior. Sun Jian was born in 155 AD and joined the cast in Dynasty Warriors 2. He is the father of the Sun siblings and is argued to be a descendant of Sun Tzu of Art of War fame. In his youth he earned fame subjugating pirates and bandits before Dynasty Warriors starts him out as the Yellow Turban Rebellion and the coalition against Dongzhuo. During the battles against Dongzhuo, he found the Imperial Seal, which is a symbol of the Chinese Emperor, and just holding the sucker could be used to make a claim on the throne. Before he can put the seal to good use, he unfortunately dies at the hand of Huangju's subordinates and Sun Ce succeeds him. Now let's see how his swordsmanship compares to his son's. Sun Jian is a wonder type and yet another one-handed sword wielder. His S-string is the same as the others, so what I said before still applies. The C1 Guardbreaker is actually a dash, so you can get some distance on it. His C3 EX attack is a pretty long combo that finishes with a strong fire splash. His C4 is a backward stab shockwave attack, and his C5 is a slam launcher for some group airfare. His C6 is pretty much his EX finisher without the fire and a stab at the end, so it's honestly kinda lackluster compared to it. His ground R1 has him manipulate a fireball to hit an enemy multiple times, and his aerial is just a single fireball hit. His Musou is a 3-hit flaming combo that hits in a pretty wide area and pretty hard as well. His passive is Impact, which refills Musou gauge every 100 KOs. Well, what can I say about Sun Jian that I haven't already said about the other one-handed sword wielders? He is an all-rounder that can fit in well with most teams. Still prefer Sima Zhao for the style, but if you like the Tiger of Jiang Dong, then go ahead and use him. Nobunaga Oda was born in 1534 AD and was an original samurai warrior. Now where the heck do I start with this man? He's probably one of the most famous Japanese historical figures. Depending upon what game, book, anime you are looking at, he's either a ruthless demon, a charismatic and flawed hero, or a complete madman. Samurai warriors generally takes the madman approach, with Nobunaga acting in a rather flamboyant and grand manner. He will recruit from his defeated foes in one mission and in another, telling his men to kill everyone and their dog for opposing him. His tale usually starts with his defeat of Yoshimoto Imagawa at Okayazama and the subsequent conquering of his neighboring domains. In 4, a lot of focus is given to him pretty much trolling the new character Hisehide Matsunaga, who is constantly plotting to take out Nobunaga. Each time he does, Nobunaga pretty much condescendingly forgives him and tells him to follow through with his betrayal next time. Nobunaga's story pretty much always ends at Honnoji Temple, where he is betrayed by Mitsuhide Akechi and perishes in the Flaming Temple. So let's see how our Dark Overlord battles with his very glowy sword. Nobunaga is a wonder type and a pretty good all-rounder. His S-string is pretty quick and has alright range, and his charge attacks change after his sword powers up with his C5. The C1 tosses an energy ball that causes an explosion and can be charged to make the explosion stronger. The C2 is an aerial combo and is great for killing officers, and the combo extends with his C5. His C3 has him do a quick slash followed by a giant column of dark energy, and a dash when he is buffed. His C4 is a real mixed bag. Like his C1, it's a chargeable attack that hits all around him, but it can be really dicey to charge in a group, and the charge gets longer when he is buffed. The C5 is an impaling attack that is unblockable and drains power out of his foes to extend his attack. His ground R1 creates an invincibility barrier and strengthens his weapon, and his aerial has him empower his sword and send out energy that explodes in 4 directions. His passive is Vigor, which boosts combo attacks. The Demon King is pretty good. I mean, what were you expecting with someone with a title like that? Take him out for a spin, murder some dudes. He may not be Lubu, but he can stand tall amongst the people who work under him. Lady No was born in 1534 AD and appears alongside her husband in the first Samurai Warriors game. Not much is really known about her aside from the fact that she was Nobunaga's wife, so depictions of her vary, and Koei decided to make her the kinda Diao-chan of the Samurai Warriors. She is the daughter of Dosan Saito, and he pretty much wanted her to woo Nobunaga and then kill him. However, she says that she will marry him, and if she finds him to her liking, she will instead join him and kill her father. From there, it's a whirlwind romance of blood and steel as the pair show their love for each other by going to battle and murdering everything in a 5-mile radius of love. She usually shares her husband's fate at Honnoji, although some variants have her rescuing Nobunaga. So let's see how the wife of the demon supports her murdering addiction. Lady No is a wonder type and a bit of an oddball. Her S-string starts with a bunch of short-range kicks that turn into flips that cover a lot of ground, which makes up for its lack of range. Her C1 takes a bit to charge and has her toss out a pair of long-range bombs. Good at long distance, but avoid at any other range. Her C2 is a pretty simple juggle attack. Her C3 has a surprising range as she suddenly sprouts her claws and spins for a decent AoE. Her C4 is basically just her sprouting her claws and spinning around and around, making a pretty decent mob killer. Her C5 is an unblockable impaling attack that is nice for breaking guards. Her ground R1 has her toss bombs all around her that explode on touch, so it's a nice crowd control attack. Her aerial has her set off fireworks and air slash anyone caught in it. Her Merceau has her backing away, which is a rarity, and rapidly tossing bombs. Her passive is Thrift, which reduces Merceau costs and is very handy. Overall, Lady No is in a weird place. I can't say she is lacking in a lot of places, but she just feels awkward and surprising at times, which I guess is the point. She can be fun to play as, but she does take some getting used to. Okuni was supposedly born in 1572 and was in the first Samurai Warriors game. She is a rather random character. Her original storyline is pretty much her just wandering into random battles to dance and collect money for her shrine. She also runs into Goemon and Keiji and generally hangs out with them in her story missions. Historically, she is the founder of the Kabuki dance style and a priestess of the Izumo Grand Shrine. She really has no connection to the famous battles of the era, so let's jump to her showing off her art of Deadly Parasol. Okuni is a wonder type and one I'm not really fond of. Her S-string is decently quick, but its range is pretty bad on a few of its hits. Her C1 is guided, so it's not hard to hit multiple opponents with it, but it takes a bit to come out. Her C2 is a decent air juggle and probably her best attack. Her C3 just feels awkward with the second hit being really slow and out of place, although the finisher is nice. The timing of her C4 seems off to me. I mess it up a lot as seen in the video to the point that I left it in. It is supposed to be her crowd clear, but the initial hits are really short range and the final one circles slowly. Finally, her C5 is an okay ranged attack. Her ground R1 is a tornado that can juggle pretty well to set up a combo, and her aerial makes her slowly fall to the ground. Her Merceau is pretty much an extended C4 finisher and nothing all that special. Her passive is Wonder, which boosts Wonder type stats. Overall, I cannot recommend playing as Okuni. Her attacks are awkward and have some major range issues, so unless you are a fan of her, I say pass. Fushi began his Dynasty Warriors career as a kind of generic giant sword wielder that was only playable in free mode. In the Warriors Orochi universe, however, he is a powerful mystic that originally appeared to help out in the Samurai Warriors campaign. Well, only after air quotes testing Sakon and crew a few times. Of the mystics, he is the quickest to recognize humanity's efforts at fighting Orochi and is probably the least arrogant as well. Historically, Fushi is known as one of the three sovereigns who started civilization. He is also the brother and husband of Nuwa, who we will be meeting later. Now let's see how his giant sword arts compare to Guanping and Xiaoba. Fushi is a technique type and a pretty powerful one at that. He has a very long S-string and it's surprisingly fast for the giant slab of metal he is wielding. His C1 hits twice so it can both break guard and damage. His C3 is a stabbing combo with a nice clearing finish, and of course his C4 is a huge clearing attack. His C5 is a launcher that hits in a large area, so again free airfare for all. His C6 starts like his C3, but instead of a clearing slash he tries to cleave his enemy in two. His ground R1 has him telekinetically slam his sword into his opponent, and his aerial R1 is a spinning combo attack. His Merceau has him spin like a top a couple of times before finishing by slamming his sword into the ground and calling down the thunder. His passive is Fortitude, which boosts everyone's defense. Overall, Fushi is pretty good, although I think Xiaoba's ground R1 gives him the edge in the overcompensating sword battle. Without that, Fushi is the fastest of the three giant swordsmen, and he has some good variety in his combos, so he can kick a lot of ass. That's it for this episode. We met a tiger, a demon king, his wife, a god, and possibly a death goddess. Next time, I think we will be having some new Wei members, so I hope to see you all again next time.